everyone, it's Adrian, and for this video, I've been kind of wanting to do this for a while, but I kind of want to do just a Magneto cosplay overview, just kind of go step by step and how I made certain things. Today, uh, we're going to see how I made the collar of Magneto, like this lovely collar here. And so, before I do that, for the for the cosplay, I use this like Marvel Legends action figure of Magneto as my template. This was like my template here, like the collar, everything was kind of based off this action figure here. So I tried to get it as close as I possibly could because this is actually a pretty accurate, nice figure. So that's how I did it. And so if you look at the collar, that's because I'm sitting down on that, right? If you look at the collar, you'll notice like some things. You'll see like the bump mark, this, and the cape is attached to it. And so, how did I do that? How did I actually, do that? How did I actually make this collar? What is it made from? Whatever. Well, with the Magneto cosplay and the collar, there's two options. You can do an option that where you stiffen it, kind of like this remote, where you make it hard. Or you can kind of make it like, kind of do something like a Green Power Ranger and just make it out of a fabric soft material. And I went for this fabric soft material because I was in school then, and I was, this took like weeks, like about a month to do itself, probably longer, and I was busy as all hell. I did not have the time for it. So I was like, the soft thing is going to probably be faster, and it's going to be a lot easier to store and do stuff with. So I went with soft fabric. And so, it's made out of this. Do you want to know what this is? This is a yoga mat. I bought a yoga mat. It's made out of a yoga mat. So pretty much, using this as my template, I kind of like cut a somewhat circular pattern. If you notice here, this is kind of, it's circular. So I cut like a circular pattern around the cape. Just a circular pattern. And unfortunately, it didn't come out circular. It was kind of like square and block shape. And so when I was cutting this with scissors, the yoga mat, I pretty much had to kind of angle it a little to kind of round it out, to kind of get a little more round. So you notice like it's a little more round now. If you look at this, you notice it is more round. And so that's pretty much what I had to do. Like I cut out like a big section, and I kind of had to round it out with scissors. And I had to like make sure that it didn't come like to my stomach. It didn't come over. It didn't go all the way to my pants, my stomach. Make sure it was just right, like right around here, the sternum, like right here. I had to make sure it was like right around there. And so I constantly pretty much had to adjust it, like try it on, adjust it, try it on, adjust it. So I pretty much like had to round it out and constantly shorten it, make sure it was still round, make sure it was a little even. So I constantly had to do that till I got it just right. And in fact, you'll see a photo on my left, this way here. You'll see a photo of how it looked before I got like the purple on there. There it is. That's how it looked initially. And then like for that, like I had to cut a hole in it too, so my big head can fit in there. So pretty much that's easy. Like just cut like make sure it's centered and just cut like a square or a round if you can do it. So that way you can just get your head in and out of there. So that's how that started. Then I needed to put but then he has like this little thing, a square thing here. So for that, same thing, it was made out of like this, and it was easier too. In addition to that, like it's being held by Velcro. Like I just put some Velcro strips that I bought at CVS and attached to there. Bam! I have like the shape of it. But how did I make it purple? What did I do? Well, this is one where you could like if you stiffened it, you probably would have to paint it. But like, I kind of want the purple to match as closely as possible to the helmet, and the fabric that I had did. And so pretty much what I did was, like this entire thing, like this is a yoga mat. Pretend this is a yoga mat. Pretty much, I wrapped the fabric around it like this. I just pretty much wrapped the fabric, cut and then I like hot glue gun some of it together, and then I sewed it on to make sure it was safe. And so pretty much I did the same thing with this, like I just wrapped the entire fabric around the thing. Just wrapped it around and I like super glued, actually not super glued, but hot glue gun like some of the material together. And then when it was hot glue gun and like stationary, I sewed some of the fabric together to so it wouldn't come apart, it wouldn't fall off. And so pretty much that's how I got purple. And if you notice, if you look at the backside, look at that. It doesn't look that great, doesn't it? It looks pretty choppy. You can kind of see this fold here, this fold there. But here's the thing. No one's going to see this. No one's going to see this. No one's going to see the bottom of it unless they're like really creepy and try to flip it off. Then you would punch them. But no one's going to see that because it's going to, the cape, it's going to rest on you like this. It's resting on you like this. So no one's going to be able to see like the imperfections on the bottom of the thing. That's the cool part about it. Like no one is going to be able to see the bottom of it. No one's going to be able to tell that, oh look, this is kind of folded here. This has the glue stain there. No one's going to notice that. So you don't have to be perfect with the bottom. And so that's what I was. That's what I did. And as you can see here now, it came out pretty well. Like, and then if you look at the figure, he has like those little bolts, the marks there. And so for that, I used one of these. It's a stress ball. Like I got it online. I got like I think a 6-pack of these. And pretty much what I did with that is I cut it in half. I just cut it in half, and these balls have like a little line there, that right there. So I just cut it in half. And then I did the same thing. Like when it was cut in half, I wrapped fabric around it, like just like that. Made sure it was enough. Like hot glue gun the bottom together. And you have to be careful because sometimes it's not going to look really even. They had to try to get it to look as smooth and less wrinkly as possible. But I wrapped it around. It was cut in half. Hot glue gun the bottom, and then I sewed a little bit of it so it wouldn't come off. And I did that, and I counted out about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I counted out 5 of those based on this action figure, so you can see that here. Counted out 5 of that. And once I did that, once I did that and I had all my pieces together, like so, I didn't measure it, I approximated it. So I wanted one in the middle, wanted 2 near the sides that were a little higher, and 2 like on these sides here that were kind of higher. So you see that I wanted like 1 there, 1 to the side of it, and 2 a little higher, like near the shoulders. And once I kind of had that laid out, I pretty much hot glue gunned the bottom of the balls. I hot glue gunned it on the bottom, like right in the center, and I like squeezed it onto this, like kind of like this. I kind of hot glue gunned the bottom in the middle and just like held it there until it was stable. And the reason I did that is because I need it to be stationary. I need it to be centered so it's not moving around. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're planning on just gluing it on there and leaving it alone, it's not going to work. It's not going to stay on there. I tried just leaving it with the hot glue, but it wasn't going to work because it just wasn't stable. Like, it was not stable. It wasn't, it would fall off. And like someone brushed, like I remember I kind of brushed against something and it fell off when I was walking around in my house. I was like, it's like at a convention, you're going to probably brush around with a ton of people. So you need a little more something to get it to stick on. And so that something was just sewing. Pretty much like I had like some purple thread, and I just went across the bottom like this, and I kind of just started sewing the thing, like kind of like that, like this in an up and down motion, not in the circular motion, like horizontal, but an up and down. And I did that for each of these balls. And that kind of secured them onto the collar. That made sure that this was not going anywhere. Look, like this is not going anywhere. Look what I'm doing. I'm moving this around. It's not going anywhere. It's going to go up and down a little bit, but it's not going to rip off. In order for it to come off, you would really have to take all your strength and pull it off. And so that's why I did the collar. And that, believe it or not, is how I did the Magneto collar. And like I said, you will see progress photos on this. Like you saw, you're going to see how it looked with just this, when it was just the shape of it. You're going to see how it looked with the fabric, and then you'll see how it looked with this, just the progress photos that I made. In addition to that, for some weird reason, I just have a lot of trouble doing capes. A lot of trouble. And so, knowing that, I'm pretty much just like, okay, I attached the cape to the back of this, of the collar. And the way I did that was I used safety pins. Plain and easy. Like, cause I was like, oh, I'm probably going to get it wrong. So I just used safety pins and just kind of like went across it and measured it out. And the thing about the Magneto collar, the thing about this collar though, and the cape, you had to make sure that it's not too long and not too short. Like if it's too long, it's gonna get dirty, it's gonna get ripped, people are gonna step on it, you can trip, so you don't want it too long. And additionally, you don't want it too short, because Magneto's capes aren't super short, so you don't want it too short either. I think, in my opinion, like the best length for the Magneto's cape is to be about here. Oh, you can't see, but to be about here, like ankle length, like around the ankle. Like say, like around here. They're pretty much like around the ankle. That's like the best length you can get the Magneto cape. When you're and I say that when you're standing, not when you're sitting. When you stand with the cape, it should be around ankle length. Around the ankle. That's the perfect length, because you're not gonna step on it. No one's gonna step on it. You're not gonna step on it. You're not gonna trip. And if you notice, if you look at the cape, I mean, it goes pretty much down to my ankle. Like it's pretty lengthy. So yeah, and that's how I did the collar. It's pretty simple. It's if you're like me and not the greatest at like prop making or stiffening things, somehow I pulled this helmet off. I don't know how the hell I did that. But if you're like, not the best at it, this is a cheaper, easier alternative way of doing it, it looks just as good. It looks just as good, and it's so much simpler. Yoga mat, put fabric over it, sew it on, this balls, attach a cape. It's so much easier to do it this way. So yeah, that's how I did the Magneto collar. I'm gonna probably be doing some more videos like how I made the Magneto bracers, like for the arm, how I did the underwear and like the belt, and then how I did this, which is probably going to take probably going to take multiple videos. So I do plan on like saying how I made all of this stuff and did everything with this cosplay, because it did work hard on it. And quite frankly, I wish that these cosplays videos had existed when I was doing it too. So if anyone has any questions, send me a comment, email, I'll answer them. Because, like I said, I'm making this video to help people who want to do a cosplay like Magneto. Thanks for watching.